All right, we are joined by the infamous D'Angelo Nordo. How you doing today?
What's up, man? I didn't know that I was going to have to follow Elite Twins Vox Corey Probus. You guys did not include that in the DMs, the conversation.
Well,
But
you're a legend too.
Yeah,
I don't know about that. Let's not go legend. But I do have a blast working with PA every day, obviously on the fan, and I'm glad that I could hang out with you guys. This is really cool, and you see stuff like this popping up, and I don't think you can say thanks enough to guys like you who are taking out time and investing in it. And whether it's Provis, I know PA was with you guys earlier. Mm-hmm. It's really cool to see people coming together for a cool cause. So I'm glad, one way or another to participate in it and talk some shop with you fellas.
Hell yeah. Just to get into it, I know this is pretty fresh, being last weekend, Viking draft thoughts. 15 freaking picks. It always seemed like once we were ready to make that trade, classic Rick Spielman being Rick Spielman, just trading back, just anticipating building the height for that day 3, 12, 13 picks, just going nuts.
Absolutely. If you guys listen to the fan or anybody that does, it was kind of a common viewpoint for us where the 2 first-round picks, that's liquid gold right there, and to make some hay with those opportunities. And night one, so successful, the ability from our standpoint you get Justin Jefferson without having to trade up. You move back, you acquire some assets, and you still get Gladney at the end of the first round. That's really cool. So you go into Friday, and you're super pumped. And, the idea of it is one way or another, I think these guys want to move ahead in day 2, get up at the front end of round 2 and 3, get up in the front end of round 4 on Saturday, and that just didn't materialize. And so, you couple that then with – and I was I was split on Trent Williams because for a 5th-round pick, bring him in, let's do this thing. But also you're thinking, hey, he's 32, hasn't played a full season in 7 years, and all of those things, hasn't played in 18 months. So when that didn't materialize and they weren't able to trade up, obviously the game plan became murder by numbers. And so just throw as much bleep as you can against the wall and hope that a couple things stick. And I hope they do. I'm still learning about half these guys, and it's obviously given what we're doing right here, new times, nobody's able to be within a mile of each other, basically. No players at the facility, no rookie camp. So I'm still a little bit of fog. I got some fog in terms of particulars with all 15 of these guys, but I do like a few of the names. So ultimately, bodies in the building eventually, and maybe they can help early and often.
It's just building up this height coming into the fall here, and it's just going to be interesting to see.
Well, how about
Jefferson.
that? We're at a stage now. We're just excited that they're going to be releasing the NFL schedule next week. It's just all small moments of hope, just these little breadcrumbs. Ooh, okay, this is awesome. If there's a season, this is where we'll be on this day. Oh, what a nasty 3-game road stretch. We get to talk a little bit about that.
Yeah.
But just getting these kids in the building. I'm excited to meet Justin Jefferson. I've heard really cool things about this DJ Wanham cat that I didn't really know much about until we actually drafted him.
Yeah.
Kenny Willekes might be a nice value end at the back of the draft, and he's a walk-on. He's kind of got, if you're a Gophers fan, that Blake Cashman vibe, where he walked onto the team, ended up being very productive, a team leader. So, but we can't meet him. Yeah. So all we do is, we read crap online, and, it's kind of exciting, but now post-draft, we're kind of in a dead period, right?
Yeah, and definitely quarterback 7th round, Nate Stanley. Grew up about, 20, 25, 30 miles east of where I live in New Richmond. So got to see him play some baseball at his time in Menominee, and now get drafted by my favorite team, Minnesota Vikings. Just come in, hopefully be that 3rd-string option maybe, make the team at least.
Yeah, well, the expanded roster, I think it's a couple of spots, so that makes it easier to keep a 3rd quarterback than it was before.
Yeah.
I was very pro drafting a quarterback, and so, this isn't breaking news. I'm not a highly tuned professional athlete, and I'm not in the Vikings locker room. But I personally, so I can't speak to the value that a Sean Mannion brings Kirk Cousins. I don't know what holding the clipboard and diagnosing things, and he's a master with the Microsoft Surface. I don't know what that offers Kirk in terms of his game. But I know that we're going to have a hard time winning games if Sean Mannion's our guy.
Yeah.
And I know as much as I love Kirk, the inability of this franchise to draft, develop, and keep quality quarterbacking has really set us back in big ways. And so we had to go out, spend a ton of cash on Kirk, which is cool. He's winning games for us now. But the ability to bring somebody in, and maybe Stanley's that guy. I was a big fan of that James Morgan out of FIU. The fact that this is the first QB they've drafted since Teddy, that's kind of weird, right?
Yep.
I didn't realize that.
Yep.
So for one way or another, draft a different guy in the late rounds every single year and be ready, not be so handcuffed to the Kirk contract 2 or 3 years down the road. Maybe have some competition and an opportunity to make a different decision if you need to in 2022, 2023.
And like you said, that anticipation of drafting up, we were all ready for that draft up into the second or third round.
Yeah.
Potentially the Jalen Hurts type, the James Morgans of the world. Jake Fromm went later than everyone thought of. Just the way that the NFL's moving, those types of quarterbacks, the mobile. And then with what the Saints are doing down there, they get Winston for $1 million, $1.1 million, and then they give Taysom Hill this $20 million contract, and just as like that gadget guy to do whatever with.
Yeah, and then the Eagles kind of using that Taysom Hill philosophy with Jalen Hurts at pick 53 too. Jameis Winston has been a complete goofball his entire career. He's made a couple of knucklehead decisions off the field, but he is super talented. I mean, he was an absolute stone cold killer at Florida State, and he's shown with that Tampa offense they can put a ton of points on the board. He's just going to give half of them back because he keeps throwing it to the other team. So an opportunity for him to come in on a minimum and learn from HOF. I mean, I'm actually surprised that he would make such a mature decision, if that makes sense. I'm not going to start. I'm going to take pennies on the dollar of what I made over the course of time at Tampa, and I'm just going to sit back and humble myself. I actually think that's pretty cool, and I give him props for that.
I'm going to take a hot take right now. I think Jameis Winston is going to be a top 5 guy after LASIK.
Oh, my God.
That's
a joke.
I think the LASIK surgery is going to do something for him. Something's going to click, and he's just going to go off.
That's asinine.
Well, I'll tell you, my life changed after LASIK.
Yeah, see? Wedding clinic. Yeah. I'm telling you.
I got better on the radio post LASIK.
Yeah, you gotta see the crazy antics that PA throws out there.
Now, I don't want to see half of that. I don't want to see that.
So, crazy story. Are you an elevator or stairs type of guy?
Good question. I've always been an elevator guy because I think if you don't have to physically move or exert yourself, why do it?
Yeah, I like that take.
Yeah, so elevators are sweet. Now, I've actually started using the stairs at my house or at work here at 1600 Utica. Because I got stuck in a freaking elevator here for an hour with a gal who was like 2 days past her due date. She was ready to give birth. I'm going through this like, okay, what is it going to take to deliver a baby here? And do I have to like Google some steps and a freaking elevator? This is pre-quarantine, by the way, back before we were scared of our own shadows. So, I got pregnant lady in there. Then I got another guy who worked on a different floor, and we're stuck in there for an hour. If there were any, not a pet peeve, but I'm almost obsessive about it. I have to do a ton of prep work before each show every day.
Yeah.
And so, I get here 2.5 hours before the show. I'm here at 6:30, 7 o'clock at the latest.
Yeah.
And this is now creeping up from 7:45 to 8 to 8:20. And I know what I have to do, and I am just terrified. I can't help it. It makes me anxious if I'm not on time or if I'm not done with my task list. And so, I'm just sitting there going crazy. God bless this gal that works in our office, but she is now thinking like, what if I end up giving birth in this elevator? I made sure that she agreed that she would name it after me, of course, if I
Baby
did have to,
Nordo.
to pull out the catcher's mitt and deliver a miracle. So yeah, I've started using the stairs. It's probably been good on a health front as well. But I use the stairs if I can now because getting stuck in an elevator is terrifying.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I definitely know for sure.
Did you sweat a lot?
Are you kidding me, man?
No.
Dude, I'm built like you, Bubba. All right? You think I wasn't sweating? Oh my God! Holy cats!
Man.
Oh, I need like a breeze on me at all times
Me
to
too,
keep from
yeah.
sweating. I'm just I'm a physical mess. I'm not saying you are. I'm saying I am, Bubba. That's what I'm saying.
All right, I got a question for you.
Yeah.
How many pizza rolls do you think you can eat
Oh, now we're talking.
in a half hour?
Pizza rolls in a half hour. Do we know how many are in a bag?
You can get bags of 50.
You can get 90.
Yeah. 90 is the family size.
90 is the family size.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I bet I could eat if I really hunkered down and I just said, okay, no, this is the pinnacle of gluttony here. I got to get like my wife and kids out of the house so they don't have to see this horror movie that's about to take place. But once, I get the crime scene all set up, oven taking place. I bet you I could eat a bag of 90 in a half hour.
Wow.
90
think
and
I
a half
could.
hour.
I mean, is that just ridiculous?
Well,
No,
I got you beat. I got 120.
Wait a minute, you've done this?
Yeah.
It is on our Twitter at 10,000 takes on Twitter.
Oh my God, that sounds amazing. Now, the key to it from a timing perspective, because when they come out of the oven, they're hot as hell.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So the timer doesn't start until they're cool, right? Because I don't want to burn the roof of my mouth with the first 10.
Correct. I waited 10 minutes.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah.
Okay, sweet.
You
So,
got
well, since I've never tried it, I just picked a family-sized bag.
Mm-hmm.
I think I could do 120. Now I'm feeling confident.
Oh, he
now,
wants to match Bubba.
You want to bet?
He thinks he.
no, I'm not putting that out on video.
We should set up a stream. Let's do it.
No,
Yeah,
honestly,
we'll get you in a Zoom call.
there
And
are-
we'll have a
10
pizza
bucks.
roll off.
$10.
You and
10
Bubba.
bucks.
120.
You say $10, Bubba.
Oh man. And I can drink during this thing.
Yes,
right?
of
Like
course,
water.
of course.
Okay, yeah.
Of course.
All right. So just a normal meal
Yeah,
of just me
Just
just
be-
shamelessly stuffing my face for 30 minutes.
100%.
Okay, well maybe we'll connect down the road on this thing.
All
All
right.
right.
If this,
All right.
if this,
The stage is set.
Yeah.
if this quarantine extends any longer, I'm in on just about anything to keep me sane. So
All right. Fair enough.
That's good.
All right. We've gone. So this is what we love here. So I recently saw that you bought a brand new guitar.
yeah, I did. I actually played bass for about 7 years in my teens, and then right around 2021, just preoccupied working jobs and stuff, I just kind of gave it up. But you kind of learn a lot. You're forced to in this type of situation. I'm sure many people experience this too, where a lot of your passions have either been altered, a lot of events have been canceled. There's so much more isolation in our lives right now. So you take advantage of it from like a family time perspective. But ultimately, my hobby, my life is sports, whether it be radio or even in my personal life. We wouldn't be doing this. I might be at a Twins game right now, in a different universe. So I needed to find something to do. I'm not good at sitting still. And, Netflix bores me after a while. So, yeah, man, I just hopped on guitarcenter.com and just picked up a bass and got my preamp and all this set up. I'm hoping if shipping times get better, I'm going to get a piano. I'm going to get a drum set. My family's going to hate me.
You're gonna have a
But
whole band.
I want to get I'm all in on this basement studio type bit that I want to build. So I'm just obsessed with it. So I'm at home slapping away and doing my thing. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah,
Do you guys
very
play
nice.
instruments at all?
I do
I
not.
don't.
No, I played trumpet in 6th grade for 3 days, and then my band teacher told me to quit because I sucked so bad. Literally said that to my face. So
Wow. Okay,
I know
wow. Hey,
it was harsh.
Now, at least you didn't have to carry that damn trumpet to school every day.
Yeah.
I always felt bad for
Yeah.
band kids. I was never judgmental. I was in choir. So you can imagine the things I would hear about being a tenor as a high school boy. But I would feel bad, man. These kids on the bus, like trying to bring like a cello into the bus every day, like that was just a pain in the ass.
Oh yeah.
So, but yeah, man, I love music one way or another. I'm not saying I'm not Larry Graham. I'm not Victor Wooten on the bass, but I enjoy doing it. And so anything you can do to spend the time and have fun. I can't drink beer all day, every day. I'm going to try, but I can't.
I mean, as a Minnesota fan, I mean, there's always that. You always got something to fall back on.
Absolutely, man.
Getting into it, your rap show at the end of the show.
Yeah.
Just one of those things, like, how long does it take you to come up with that stuff? Are you doing it like during the show as things are being brought up? And
Yeah, so it varies. I mean, I don't know. I mean, just picture it. I'm engaged. I'm on the radio, but maybe even throughout our conversation, as you're looking at your notes, if there was something you wanted to bring up, and you might write a little note down, a little notation for later. That's kind of similarly how I do it a lot of the time. But then typically the last two segments, if we have a guest, one of those two segments, I'll write it during that segment. So you won't hear from me. It's PA.
Yeah.
And, last week we had Corey Chavis on a bunch, whatever, anybody. But sometimes if we don't have guests, then I have to write it during the break before the final segment. And that's when it could be brilliant. It could be awful. But it's about 45 seconds of your life that you can't get back. So I'm glad, if some people are interested in it, some people turn the channel. But it's just a unique bit that I do every day. So it's kind of a formula. It's not that tough.
no, yeah, very nice. Meatsauce, got to bring it up. What is that dude like? Like just day to day? Is it what we see on the power trip? Just like from his. Sometimes he does Twitter videos. Is that Meatsauce who he is?
It's funny. Working at the Fan, I get two questions. I get, is PA as creepy as he sounds? That's the first thing. The second thing is Meatsauce as dumb as he sounds on the radio? And, Meatsauce, he is, he's not a scholar by any stretch of the imagination. He has imperfections, as we all do. But he is one of the most chill, kind, caring guy, very unassuming, very nice and easy to talk with, makes friends easily because there's something about his personality that is just very genuine and very, very welcoming. So the guy that you hear on the radio is a lot of what the real Meatsauce is. He can be emotional. He can be fiery. He can be crabby. He certainly, you can tell, didn't have to work hard as a kid. No doubt about that. No doubt about that. And he certainly likes when things are focused on him. But all jokes aside, as just a real human, he's absolutely A+. So very caring, very genuine guy. Definitely. And I wish this quarantine was over because typically we would be having beers and hanging out. Meatsauce would probably be here right now. So, but yeah, no, great dude. Stand up.
Very nice. One last thing on that. The end of day 2 of the draft.
Yeah.
Vikings trade back.
Oh,
Meatsauce predicts that if they trade back, he's leaving.
out.
He's leaving the studio and going home and going to bed.
yeah, and he did.
And he did.
Yeah, he did. I didn't know what to do. Like I was super pissed off, just as mad as he was. But clearly we are technically on the radio here, and it's late. So but all the same, and as soon as we saw that they traded back, he threw down his headset and walked
I remember this.
across to the studio door, and then he was gone. But then he just walks back and just says it in the mic. I don't remember exactly, but he walked back to the mic and he's like, "I'm done with this," and then just sent the segment to break. So we've been doing 5 hours of freaking radio. We're just begging for them to take somebody. And we knew for the final hour, we're like, don't do it, Rick. Don't screw us. Come on. We've been here all freaking day. I hadn't eaten since like 3 p.m. It's almost 11, so I'm moody as hell. And he does it. He always does it, and he knows it. And it's almost, Rick does not care about what Meatsauce and Nordo are saying or doing on a Friday night. He's got busier things, more important things to care about. But it almost feels like he knew that we were at wit's end for the day, and he just said, F it, I'm trading out, have fun with that, you losers. And then we kind of rage quit the show. The program director wasn't excited about it, but we all had a good laugh in the end.
Hell yeah. We're going to get into the tradition here at 10,000 Takes, and it is rapid fire. So we're going to put 1 minute on the clock. We're going to throw some questions your way.
Sweet.
All right. So the first question is, would you rather spend the rest of your life blind or in an Olive Garden?
Ooh, blind.
Really? All right. That's been a popular one today. I don't know what it is. If you were given
no offense to Olive Garden.
If you were given an all expenses paid trip to Cleveland, would you take it?
Absolutely. I'd go anywhere right now. I'd go literally anywhere to fly on a plane and not be terrified. I will go anywhere. Cleveland, perfect. Love it. Love Lake Erie this time of year.
Hell yeah. Hot dish or casserole?
I'm a hot dish guy.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. If there was a movie that was made about your life, who would play you?
Ooh, that's a good question. Let me see here. I'm trying to think of somebody that just has like a beaten up face. Just somebody that's hideous. That's a really good question. Is it Vincent D'Onofrio that played Pyle in Full Metal Jacket?
Oh yeah.
I believe so.
Yeah.
He's kind of hideous. I'd say him.
Private Pyle. All right. Would you rather have a head the size of a tennis ball or the size of a watermelon?
Watermelon.
Very nice.
Sure, in some cultures that means like authoritative, very intelligent, right?
Yes, of course. Minneapolis or St. Paul kind of guy?
Minneapolis.
Very nice. In self-defense, how many fifth graders could you fend off at one time?
I'm tough to take down. I would say, I bet you I could beat a class of 30.
30, wow. All right.
Now, are they armed? I mean, if they're coming at me with some Eberhard Faber sharp number twos,
I'm thinking kind of like that Step Brothers role where they're sitting around the playground and they're just kind of hanging out there.
Okay, yeah, I'd say more realistically, I could beat up before I got tired, 10 to 12.
All right, fair
I
enough.
feel ya.
Yeah, fair enough. Would you rather wear a shirt that's kind of itchy or a pair of shoes with a small pebble in it?
Ooh, itchy is nasty, but the pebble's impossible. I'd go with the itchy shirt.
All right. What's more realistic, ghosts or aliens?
Aliens.
All right. They were confirmed real, by the way, just putting that out there.
Oh yeah, the Navy bit, right?
Yeah.
I thought that was just UFOs though.
UFOs
can be
It's
anything.
the same thing, isn't it?
It's
gotta be.
unidentified.
Yeah.
That's a good point.
Yeah. And if you had to watch one sport for the rest of your life, what would it be?
Soccer.
Oh no.
Yes.
Yeah,
Hell
that's
yeah.
what I'm talking about, homie.
Hell yeah.
Fly that loon, baby.
Dude, Loon's got to get more credit. Undefeated in the MLS this year. Got to stay that way.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah. All right, Nordo, thanks for coming on. Absolute gem of a human being.
Thanks, buddy.
Hey, I thought I was gonna do a rap though.
Oh.
Hey, if you had I forgot about that. Hey, go for it.
Can you hear the music?
Yeah.
Okay. I had to write a rap while I was in the waiting room. Like 9 minutes just staring at the black screen. I wanted to talk to Andy and Bubba, so I had to do this. So let's see if I can hit this here. Okay. Brought to you by Metropolitan Ford.
Of course.
10,000 lakes filled with great takes. Most of my opinions are half-baked. Nothing happened when he said, let there be cake. Feels like Groundhog Day. Each morning I'm stepping on a rake. Got my new buddies. It's Andy and Bubba. If I had a nickname, it'd probably be Flubba. The motivation to move in the purge becoming common. Need some magic. Maybe I should go see a shaman. So whether it's ramen or steaks, give thanks to the Groveland Emergency Food Bank. If you can, gotta lend a hand to others. Got a lot of sons and daughters, mothers and fathers. And for those of us that are a little extra blessed, if we can, hey, just take a little less. No need to hope for a 4-leaf clover. We'll need everybody happy and healthy when this is over. All right, thanks, guys.
Yeah,
Thanks,
thank
Nordo.
you, Nordo, gem of a human being. Great job. Loved having you on.
No, it's a blast, guys, man. Again, I think this is really cool what you guys are doing, and I hope that in one way or another it's super successful. Obviously, weird times require these sorts of things. A lot of people in need, a lot of people out of work. So I cheers to you guys and give thanks for allowing me to hang out with you.
Appreciate
buddy.
it very much. All right, Nordo, have a good one.
Cheers.
All right, take care, gentlemen.
You as well.
Cheers.